is the Bill Squire Show.
Hey, everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the Bill Squire Show. I'm here with my guest, Shane Torres. What's up, Shane?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just, I got my morning coffee here, too. It's actually beer because I'm about to watch football and take a nap. That's what I do on Sundays. I love a Sunday nap.
Your body is a temple.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. I've done a pretty good job because I got a dog back in February. So I am forced to move around a little bit. Not like walking or anything like that, but I'll get like
you walk the pup a few times a day or whatever.
Yeah, and I get around 10,000 steps a day, and then I play Pop-A-Shot to get my heart rate up. Like I have like little things.
What's Pop-A-Shot?
It's like the little basketball arcade.
Oh, okay, yeah. I love Pop-A-Shot.
Yeah, I've gotten very good at it over the course.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, like my high score right now is 184.
Jesus.
In 55 seconds, yeah. Well, there's not much else to do. So I'm
telling you, when state fairs come back, man, you are going to be cleaning up with the lady. You're going to have so many giant teddy bears. It's going to be insane.
I also have been practicing with my left hand, so I can do a full-on grift with people. So I can go and play with my left hand and do pretty good. And then they'll be like, that's nothing. I go, okay, let's go double or nothing. And then I play with my right hand, and that's when I make the big bucks.
Gee.
I'm excited for that whole thing. My whole color of money Pop-A-Shot.
Yeah, this is very what was it? Super that you spent were very productive during the quarter.
Yeah, right. And some people like learn how to bake, and some people learn instruments, and I just got really good at a child's arcade game.
Yeah, you did.
But you know what? It makes me happy.
I will say though, to a guy like me, awesome. There's nothing I don't love about it. But I just, I also ate a giant burrito and nachos before I went to bed last night. So,
right. Yeah, that's the kind of level we're on. That's we're living vicariously through ourselves.
Yeah. Do you ever do that where you're like, I'm doing great today? I haven't done, and then you're like, I'm gonna bottom out and just man. Yeah.
That's anytime I'm doing anything like that. Like food is such a powerful treat to me where it's like I mean, even just yesterday, I bought I grocery shopped and I'm like, good for me. I grocery shopped. I'm not getting takeout. I'm saving all this money. And then I ate 3 roast beef sandwiches that I wasn't hungry for just because I had them.
Same thing. Like last night, I just hadn't had a real meal all day. Like I'd had like one thing in the morning and then was just kind of like eating popcorn and shit through the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple of shows last night and then I was like, fuck it. I need to eat something, I just eating snacky shit. And I was like, I need to eat something with some actual it's food, even if it's not healthy food,
I know that exact same feeling. And you want that, you kind of want that heft in you.
Yeah, a little bit and I felt fine enough, but then at the end of the night, I'm just like, you fucking cheated yourself. You're a fucking scumbag. Who would ever love you? No wonder you're alone in this hotel room.
And then you're like, all right, now I need ice cream. With everybody talking about spending holidays alone and doing things by themselves, it's like one of those things where as a comic, you've already done this a dozen times probably, where you've spent significant holidays or birthdays or whatever away from people. And it's it's one of those things where it's like we've been training for this. I remember a Christmas.
It's not as hard as it is for some people, that's for sure.
Yeah, for us it's par for the course. I remember a Christmas where I was in North Dakota doing some road gigs, and it was just part of a
Minot.
Yeah, Minot. Yeah. It's part of a 3 or 4 week run, and
I might not be going back there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it was. It was early in my career, and I was happy to have to work.
Yeah.
And it ended up being not super cold for North Dakota around that time of year. Usually negative, and it was in the 30s and high 40s or low 40s, and so it ended up being okay. But yeah, just on Christmas Day, I just went to a Chinese buffet, ate there, went to see a movie, fell asleep in the movie theater, and just I'm just gonna go back to my hotel and watch Dexter until I pass out. And people were like, that's so sad. I'm like, it was actually one of my favorite Christmases. I had a good time.
No, Bill.
No, I'm not. I liked it.
I look, man, I've known you for at least half a decade now, probably.
Yeah, close to that.
Longer. Yeah. I mean, I don't know you that well, but we talk on occasion or whatever. I just no, buddy. Like I don't know. Like that.
Is that too depressing?
I mean, the saddest part is that you were at a Chinese buffet in North Dakota. Like
Yeah.
that's the
Only
really
thing that was open on Christmas Day, and so like that's the only place I could go. So I went there by myself, and I had to like load up on food because I was in a hotel like over the next few days, so I didn't really. So I just like got
you couldn't get food. Yeah, you'd have to maybe go to a gas station and get like a fucking dumb sandwich or something. If
yeah. So it was like 2008, 2007, something like that.
What was the movie you fell asleep during?
And it was some Robert De Niro movie, and it was like a real serious one. I can't remember what it was called, but it was I don't even know if it's a good movie or not, but I had such a food coma from the Chinese food restaurant and it was just like real warm in there, so it was a real good nap. Let me see if I can find out what it was. It was
That's awesome,
it was weird.
Bill.
And then like
Good for you.
on Christmas Eve, they invited me over. Like the headliner was there because his girlfriend was from Minot originally. So
you were featuring?
It was 2000. I had only been doing comedy for like 2-3 years.
Oh, I thought you were further along than that then. Okay.
It was like
I was like, it's like that's even worse.
Yeah, it was probably 2006 or 2007. I don't know. It was not far into my career. I started in 2004. So
okay.
It was around
You're a little before me.
Yeah. Let me see if I can figure out what movie this was, because I know it's driving the listeners crazy. They're like, what movie did you fall asleep in Minot, North Dakota? Oh, it was probably 2006. But yeah, I went to their family like get together on Christmas Eve, and that was weird. Like that was like they were super nice and they were very accommodating, but it was also just kind of like I don't know about this. Just weird, like crashing.
Do you remember who was the headliner?
Oh God, what was his name? He was like I want to say Kenny something, not somebody that Kenny Kane.
I don't know him.
Yeah, he was.
That's such a weird. Think about that. Those people at Christmas, unless Kenny Kane married this woman.
Yeah.
Well, remember that one time you brought that comic home for Christmas, and then he brought his friend.
Yeah. It was, and he was like a energy act. Like, I mean, that was like, like the time when Dane Cook was at his peak. So anybody that had energy in their act, they're like, he's the next Dane Cook. And so I mean, he was a fun guy. We had a good time.
Yeah. I know you're not dogging him. I just think it's a funny thing to think about in that sense of they're like, oh my God, you may not remember this. But they come up to you one day and you're like, but you spent Christmas at my house one year.
Well, the girl lived in LA and her best friend was also like living in Hollywood, and Josh Duhamel is also from Minot, North Dakota. And he was dating,
I met Josh.
He was dating Fergie at the time. So I was this close to meeting Fergie.
I met Duhamel.
Yeah.
He came to the cellar one night. This was like maybe a year ago, maybe a little longer. He came to the cellar one night, and after my set, he was in the hallway, and he goes, "Hey man, the way you talked about coming on your stomach was so funny."
I love our job.
And then he left with the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. I was like, looking at him, I was like, Jesus, you're a fucking hunk. Like he's huge.
It was
he's
like
a big dude. Yeah. Like he looks like a football player.
Nice. The Good Shepherd.
Like you and me. Not like the way you and I. Not like the way you and I look like football players.
We look like we played football in high school, and that's about it.
Junior high for me.
Yeah, it was junior high for me. I was too small. I'm a late bloomer, so I didn't actually hit my growth spurt till like my junior year of high school.
Oh, okay.
So I was like the smallest kid, and then I was like finally tall for like my last year in school, and then gone.
Then the babes showed up.
No, the babes didn't show up until I'll let you know when they do.
Oh.
No, I do all right. I got a girlfriend right now, but
you do fine. You're handsome.
I'm a good.
Stop being so goddamn modest. You're a good-looking man. You got a nice rug of hair up there.
Yeah.
Good, clean skin.
Have you always rocked the long hair?
Yeah, it's shorter now than it's ever been. But it has been long since I was like 13.
Yeah.
Or 14, probably.
A couple years ago, I started growing mine out, and just like I got to give you credit for rocking that, because it gets like there's maintenance that goes into it that I wasn't ready for.
Dog, I tell you. I mean, I'm better. I'm pretty good with it now. You know, like I have like a routine and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Jesus, it's a fucking pain. And then it is a mess too. You know,
Yeah.
like it costs you shed. Women shed.
Oh,
They
I know.
don't talk about that.
Yeah.
My shed. You know,
Yeah.
I was painting a wall in my apartment, and back in Brooklyn, and there were just hairs on the wall, and I just painted over them. I was such a lazy piece of shit. Yeah.
The movie was The Good Shepherd, and it was 2 hours and 45 minutes long. And
No wonder you got a fucking nap in. That's a flick.
That's a long fucking movie. So
that was the thing with De Niro and Damon and
yeah,
Jolie. Yeah,
Angelina Jolie. Yeah, it's probably a good movie. I just never went back to revisit it, and it's just so
yeah. It seems like a movie. They were like, here's 4 big stars and a pretty good script.
Trying to do some Oscar bait there for some of them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So you're living in Brooklyn, but you've been. I feel like you've had a more normal 2020 than some people in a way, because you've at least been doing the road. You've been out with Bert. You're out doing your own thing now. How was all that bus tour with Bert and doing those drive-ins?
Yeah, so I went out with Kreischer and a couple other guys. So we did drive-in movie theaters because Bert's a big enough act that he can do that kind of stuff. They were cool, man. It definitely took some adjusting at first. Like after the first show, we were like, oh, it works. Like you can do it. Yeah, the first time we did an outdoor show. But there are certainly adjustments. It's not the same. Like, you belong in theaters and comedy clubs.
Right.
As a comic, like you feel it different, and it's good and it's strong, and
there's a whole rhythm to comedy that is based on call and response.
But I would say like those people are so fucking excited and down to like be anywhere and doing anything. They were awesome. They really were great. The crowds were fantastic. Some people were so fucking overeager sometimes.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, I think we were in New Mexico and these guys just started running up to us, like trying to get past the gate, and then like security, and they were like, you gotta take a picture with us. They were fucking lunatics. Yeah. They were like, hey, asshole. Like I thought he was an asshole. Bert was much more gracious. If I become famous, I will be like, I'm too busy.
Right.
I'll probably be a scumbag about it, but
it's cool to see that Bert has that kind of charisma and grace when it comes to his fans, and like he's still super excited because the dude's
he is
up, and that's pretty cool to have that, because I mean, even with my like local fame, sometimes people will like, I'm cool and I'm excited about it, but at the same time, like I also am at like the same restaurant as these people, or like at the same grocery store, and they're like, oh man, Bill, I'm a big fan. I'm like, cool, all right, now we gotta stand in line quietly together. Like, this is weird.
Yeah.
It's real awkward.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Like I think it's cool how cool Bert is about it. And I just thought, like, most people are so gracious and great about it and get it.
Yeah.
And then some people just refuse to get it. Like, like the person, everybody, so we're in the middle of the pandemic, so everybody's got to socially distance. That's the rule, right? Yeah. But like, there's always one or two, not always, but there's on occasion, there's a person who's always just like, no, you don't understand. I get to take a picture with you.
Right. Everybody else is not as important.
Yeah. Like, and it's just like, what are you, an only child? Like, it's just fucking, like, you just always got what you wanted. But I mean, he's super gracious about it. But those crowds were fucking awesome.
Yeah, I saw the Cleveland show, and me and my girlfriend went. We had a blast. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it was going to translate, but it did.
Oh, you texted me after it.
It was I did, and it was a lot of fun. And like I hit up Dave too and told him he had a great set, and like everybody had a great set. It was and like playing off the train going by and all that dumb shit that happens at that.
Yeah, that's which one Cleveland was. I was trying to remember. You like sometimes when you're on the road for so long, you're just like, I don't know. There was a Crystal Inn next to an Arby's, and the O on the open sign for the club was burned out.
Yeah,
and then somebody will be like Peoria. Like, yeah, that was
that one. So yeah, it was really fun, and I had a good time, and it was cool to see you guys up there doing that, and just cool to see it on like the big screen like that. Like that's like a once in a lifetime kind of event where once it goes back to normal, you're not gonna do those anymore. But I like that you guys embraced it and had fun with it, and then just sharing all the bus shenanigans that you guys had going on. That was fun. That gets people really
very good about. Bert's very good about like I think showing people his like social media, like showing people what the fun is and stuff,
right.
Like he's like there's always some dumb fucking nonsense going on the bus where like we're having a milk chugging contest, or like Dave's farting, and what it's always nonsense, but it's like it's not highbrow shit that's going on that bus. Like, this is not the rock and roll babe. Like, yeah.
It's like, it's not the highbrow stuff. It's not the rock and roll stuff. It's comedians that are, just silly, having fun. And I think that's, it's just dudes goofing around, and that's nice to see. And I think it, people kind of live through that when, everything is as locked down as it was, where you get to see like, okay, at least there's this thing that I can kind of look forward to when I get on social media, and you're doing all this doom, and you see all this sad shit happening. Go, at least Shane and Bert and Dave are all having a good time out there and just doing something that keeps me from jumping off a cliff.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like there is a bit of that is like I have a very hard time personally remembering that kind of stuff. Like, oh, you can put out good stuff on here too, because like,
yeah,
I work in the negative a lot. Like I think naturally, like it's kind of my proclivity to like focus on bad shit, and I don't think it's good, but I think it's just kind of how I am, and I'm kind of fighting the wiring. But like, so like when I look at social media, I'll be like, this isn't funny, this guy sucks, oh my god, war, AIDS, famine, pandemic. And then every once in a while, like, Bert's is all fun. Like his whole thing is fun, which is cool. And I should focus on more things like that. So I'm glad. It's a good perspective to hear, actually.
What do you think? Because I would say I would I'm somewhere in the middle where I have the silliness and stuff like that, but like I definitely get sucked into like the negativity that's on there, and then also the judgmentalness where you see these people that are like getting all these followers, getting all this traction on social media, and you're like, I don't know who this is for. I don't understand why this is so engaging with some people, and to me it's just like dog shit on a plate.
Well, I will say this. Just know that it's not for you, probably, but give everything a chance.
Right.
A little bit. Just know that Instagram influencer is not for me. Fine. Right. You don't have to. But there is something out there for everyone. Like there's got to be. So, but I do the same thing. I'm like, how the fuck does this person who sucks at comedy have 70,000 Instagram followers? And then you're like, they're showing their asshole.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like the integrity of their art is limited to their. Yeah.
Hey, I'm not above it. I use my girlfriend's butt to get followers.
Use your girlfriend's butt to get followers?
Yeah, I put her on my story because she's got a nice butt, and so then someone will see it and be like, call into the radio show and be like, "Oh, Bill, you put your girlfriend's butthole on the Instagram again." I'm like, "Well, it's not her butthole. It's just a nice round butt that people like to look at." And then all of a sudden, boom, a nice jump in followers.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not above that. I have no integrity anymore.
I got to get a girlfriend with a butt.
There you go.
That's what I got to do.
Get a girlfriend with a butt, or a girlfriend.
I got to get a girlfriend with a butt.
Yeah. Boobs will do it too. But
or a girlfriend with a what?
Boobs, butt, maybe a smile.
Yeah. Maybe just get a girlfriend.
Yeah, as long as it's not like Indian, you should be okay.
Yeah. As long as it's not like in my Hinge profile.
Well, as long as it's
for someone I can take pictures of and post.
Like it's got to be something visual. It can't be like, here's my girlfriend's take on you know,
Yeah.
political policy, and then you're like, okay, unfollow.
Yeah, you know what's weird is like it's like there's not a lot of readers on social media.
Right.
You know, like so like the device itself is not for literacy.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of pictures. Yeah.
Well,
I
it's
mean, Instagram I spend a lot of time on, but like um you know, like Facebook, I guess people post things still, but you know, like they don't,
it's still strong,
you know, yeah,
and I forget
it
about.
is weird.
I don't really use Facebook like that anymore. Like I use it basically as like a promotional tool, and every once in a while, like I'll see, within the local Cleveland comedy scene, there'd be people like trying to get fired up and trying to, cancel this person or talk about this. I'm like, guys, none of us are doing it. It's the Cleveland scene. There's like two people that are making a living doing this, and then the rest of you guys are just open micers, and you're trying to cancel somebody. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he's calling someone out over a dumb joke.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also just like, hey, maybe everything doesn't need to be held in the court of public opinion right away. Like, talk to that person.
Yeah.
And maybe some people do. Like, I'm not saying some people don't, but some people, no one does. But that's what I mean to say. I'm sorry. But like, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, like some people just want to cancel someone to get likes.
They want likes, they want attention. Yeah, and it's kind of annoying. And one thing that I always did when, like, I run a couple of rooms in Cleveland, and people be like, oh, don't book this person, or I have beef with this person. And I always said, okay, we'll come into the show early and we'll sit down and we'll talk about it in person. And I'd always be there early waiting for them to show up, and they never show up because it's not something they want to actually come to a resolution.
Credit to the people that do. Credit to the people that do, but
But in my
also, like I just don't. I mean, I have issues with people, but I would never say don't work that person if they hadn't done anything so morally. You know what I mean? Like, I need to be informed about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there is. It's not like we can't say there isn't a reason people have like. There's not no reason people are acting like that too. Yeah. So, like I think it's still a person at a time, no matter what it is. Like, and everything is. I don't give a fuck. Let's talk about football.
Let's talk about football. What's your team?
I'm from Fort Worth, man. I'm a Cowboys fan. It's been a bleak season for us.
Oh yeah, you guys have had it real rough. The Cowboys are like they're a weird team for me because like I was a Cowboys fan in the 90s when they were, winning the championships. And then I really wasn't aware of the hatred for the Cowboys because it was pretty, like I was kind of I was as a kid, so I was just paying attention to like the wins and losses, and I didn't read all the shit. But I do love that era because there's some great books about how crazy those locker rooms were, and Charles Haley's one of the craziest.
Those Woody Boys and those guys.
So that's kind of fun. But then like now there's so much scrutiny on the Cowboys that I have to almost cheer for them just because there's so much hate constantly being thrown their way.
You're a bit of a contrarian, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's good. I think it creates objective thinking.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, it can. Because also, like, I have a
no. Sometimes you're just an asshole.
Right. When it comes to the Steelers, I'm just an asshole. I will just say that Steelers fans all fuck their sisters and stuff like that. It's all baseless. It's all emotional, and it's all just out of jealousy. But when it comes to like the rest of the league, mostly, I just want to see good football games most of the time. So I don't really give a fuck what's happening. I want more,
But you are a Browns guy.
I am a big Browns fan. Yeah. I was actually just watching Bottlegate yesterday on YouTube for whatever reason. And that's when they lost. So they lost to the Jaguars because of some shitty play call or shitty penalty calls by the refs, and then everybody in the stands started throwing bottles at the refs and stuff, like beer bottles, and they had to end the game early. It's worth watching.
Well, two things for that. One, maybe those folks were overserved.
Perhaps.
Two, we got to think of a new thing besides gate.
I agree.
You know, like it's shoe gate, it's gate.
Yeah.
It's all like, it's all like, we don't have enough scandals going on that we can't fucking. They should call it like Blackwater bottle or Ben bottle.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's fucking lazy.
Yeah, they could have just called it bottle game and it would have worked because everybody knows that okay.
The bottle game, yeah. And that also that sounds better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also when you call it bottle gate,
these are the people that write headlines.
Yeah.
There are people that write headlines that we're supposed to read and then we absorb it. And then that's the shit like, I remember fucking shoegasm or what, like.
Well, that's why all their newspapers went out of business because they weren't creative enough. So take that.
That's probably part of it. Yeah, fuck them.
Fuck them. But I think
I will say.
Well, I was gonna say real quick, it wasn't it's not a conspiracy either. Like Bottlegate's not a conspiracy. It's not like they were hiding bottles or like trying to like it was an incident. Like so that's we have some great ones. 10-cent beer night in all sorts of
it's against my Rangers.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember reading I think it was who was their manager at the time? It was like fucking Billy Martin. I can't remember who it was, but I remember they were all everybody's freaking out at 10-cent beer night, and the manager of the Rangers was just grabbed a bat and he was like, "All right, boys, let's go get him." And all the players looked at him like he was a fucking psycho.
Oh,
they're like, "What is happening with you, man?
Just
like you think you're back in the war?"
Like some of the silly, like over the top stuff that is tied into sports history is so fucking funny. Like just so over the top.
It's almost more engaging than the games in some ways.
I
mean, the sport is like sports are beautiful. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
But the lore around them is like part of the thing. Lore I think is kind of the coolest thing in the world. Like when you're like oh, like you go to a game and it's a great game. And you're like, but then you're like, there's a story about Billy White Shoes Johnson or someone, and you just kind of like you fall more in love with it. Like it's the same way when you go to like a event. Like when I did the Agora with Bert for, I guess that was his last special that we did together. I think it was CC. But they're like the Agora is, it's a famous rock venue, and like I love music, so it's like one of those things I just was like, oh my god, this is where Springsteen did the bootlegs, and this is where like that kind of shit. And so like I think lore is the coolest thing in the fucking world, always. And
that's why always, that's why something like with the Browns and the dog pound and stuff like that, and what it was and what it started as, and like them bringing dog bones to like biscuits and throwing them into the end zone and stuff like that, like what an intimidating place it was to what it is now, where it's just like this kind of sanitized version of it because it's gotten so corporate, really does add to the lore, but it also bums you out because you're like, oh man, it was right there, and now it's now it's just like this cliche.
Yeah, and like, is it all lost? Is kind of a. I agree. It's such a fucking bummer, honestly, because there's not. What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no replacing something that's gone like that. Like, well, there's no replacing any moment.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, hopefully, you get to live something like it again.
Yeah, and I think that's why.
That's like why.
You buy into the lore, you keep telling the stories, you maybe even build it up to bigger than it was, and then when there's new moments that kind of happen organically, you embrace those too. But I think it's just one of those things where that's why I'm a Browns fan, is because it's not because I'm from Cleveland, it's because of all these stories about the fans and like their ferociousness. It's not the players. The players haven't kept me engaged. It's the fans that have kept me engaged with the
Oh,
even
I love Cleveland.
It's a wild city. You're gonna be here on Friday night doing the Cleveland Comedy Festival at Hilarities. Those tickets are still for sale. They're gonna be earlier shows, so just go to hilarities.com because of the 10 o'clock curfew that's in effect. But everything's still happening.
You guys have it's a 10 o'clock curfew.
Yeah. So I think the shows are like 6 and 8 or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
But Hilarities have been doing
have to get beer. They're awesome. That's one of the best clubs in the world, man.
They've been doing a great job with the everything. I've been there almost every week.
I've seen a couple clips, yeah. Also, I'll just get beers and sit outside if it's not too cold.
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
Yeah. All right, man. Well,
this is fun. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was a little late getting on, so I apologize.
No worries, man. It was fun. We'll get people.
Are you going to be at the shows?
Yeah, I'll come through on. I'm off, so I'll be there. I'll be there for both.
Okay, great.
All right,
look at us. All right, you take care, dog.
All right, peace.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's Instagram Hottie segment. I'm here with Annie.
Hi.
Annie has been a friend of mine for probably, has it been 4 or 5 years now?
I think, it's at least 4.
It's at least 4 because it's 2016. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was 2016 when you started cutting my hair.
Absolutely.
And it was the end of 2016, I think, or beginning of 2017.
It was definitely 16 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. You saw me pre-kid.
Yeah. So, so Annie's been cutting my hair for quite a few years, and over these years we've become pretty good friends.
Yes.
We've gotten to know each other pretty well.
Absolutely.
And just, that the way you just kind of gossip and just get to know each other as you're getting your hair done, it's like, I don't know, like we know a lot about each other. We become, like I'll just come over and let our dogs play.
Yeah,
I've been there for a lot of moments with your kid, and like she calls me Mr. Bill.
Yes.
When she doesn't call me Papa Bill.
Which is really awkward.
Right, but it's funny. It's kind of funny why she does it.
Yes, it does.
Explain why.
Well, she also has a grandfather whose first name is also Bill. So it's, a little uneasy, I guess, but at the same time, really super funny.
It's adorable.
Yes.
It's because she's just like, oh, if it's a Bill, it's a Papa. But then she's gotten a little older and she's like, oh, no. Papa's different than Mr. Bill. Mr. Bill just comes, gets his hair cut. He's annoying. Makes it so mommy can't pay attention to me. But Papa Bill is, a different level.
Guy.
Yeah. So that's nice. How long you been cutting hair? I
have been cutting hair for over 8 years now. Men's, that is. Yeah. I've been cutting hair in general for about 10 years.
And what made you make the switch to just men?
Men are less complicated. Usually with women's hair, women have needs, they have wants, they expect it to look a specific color.
This is going to blow your mind. It's not just with their hair that they have needs and wants and all these things. But also, as we said, that the shoe of the week fell down. So that's probably a little bit of an omen where they're like, hey, Bill's about to talk shit about girls. Let's have this shoe fall down. Let me fix this real quick. You sit there and look pretty.
Okay.
All right, good job. And then on cue, whoopsie gets loud. There's a whole science to this show.
Yeah, love it. I'm here for it.
All right, and we are back. I like this shot right here. So I wanted that group shot. So as we get that right there. I'm going to do a little bit of editing on this so it doesn't all have to be super smooth.
Okay.
All right, let's get back to that. Good. Okay. So, you've been cutting men's hair for 8 years.
Yep.
Because they're simple. They know what they want.
Yes.
And you're very good at it.
Yes.
The reason you wanted to cut my hair, I remember exactly what it was now. So it was when I got the earring.
Yeah.
So that was actually 2017.
Right, but I was cutting your hair beforehand.
No.
Yes.
No.
You sure?
Yes, because I got my hair cut I got the earring 2017.
But I was cutting your hair before that, right?
No.
No? Okay.
Because you reached out to me because you thought my haircut was bad. And you're like, hey, who cuts your hair? And I was like, I just go to Crazy Mullets is where I was going at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And probably shouldn't have named them, but whatever. I thought it was an okay haircut, but you were like, yeah, this part here. And then because
I just
you're on
got really
camera.
retentive and nitpicky with your hair. Because, I mean, the fact that you are on camera and the fact that a bunch of people see you day in and day out is really, it says something more about your look.
Right. Well, so I ended up going to you. After that, you are a stylist at the Regal Beagle in Lakewood.
Yep.
So, guys, if you need someone to cut your hair, call the Regal Beagle, go to their website, and book with Annie.
Yeah.
She's the best. She does a great
Absolutely.
job. And she's been cutting my hair since 2017 after I got the earring. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, 2017.
Yes, it was right before you got pregnant with Ryan. Or you probably just got knocked up.
You
just got knocked up with your beautiful daughter. And I was dating Coco at the time.
Yes.
So I was giving you all these tips because I was living with a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
And kind of like, hey, this is how it is, with my, and I've
And now
raised other
she's
kids.
3 as well.
Mhm.
So, okay. Yeah. Full circle almost, sort of.
Right? It's crazy. Well, I appreciate you being this week's Instagram hottie. How do you like being a mom so far?
I really enjoy it most of the time.
Yeah, I think that's the correct answer. Any woman that says, I always like it, is lying to their teeth. Probably a bad mom. You can't like it all the time. It gets so goddamn annoying.
Yeah, there are moments where, she asks me the same thing maybe literally 50 times.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, oh, wait.
You know what the most recent thing has been that she's kind of like harping on?
Her tablet.
Her tablet.
Yeah.
What did she ask you about the tablet?
That mom needs to turn it back on because we let it, we decided we got distracted and then we had to come back to the tablet.
That's got to be so goddamn frustrating. Because she can't figure out how to turn it on, so you got to be the one that unlocks it, turns it back on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the dog for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the kids, but they're older now. They're very, on their own pretty much. So
Right.
I like having a little bit of freedom.
Yes. Yeah. She is adventurous as well. So if I decide that, God forbid I use the bathroom, then we're going to either run outside or we're going to do something with the dog. Or we're going to be up on I don't know, the counter that she can now get onto.
Usually what happens, and maybe this is with older or younger kids, but usually when they're that age, when you go to the bathroom, they want to be in there with you. They'll be like, oh, you're going to the bathroom? I'm going to make sure everything's okay while you're in here and they don't give you any privacy.
Yeah.
She's the opposite, where as soon as she gets a moment alone, she's like, peace.
Yeah, beeline. I'm going to go do something destructive and really just make mom angry and make her go
What's
crazy.
the most destructive thing she's done? I'll start with one that my kids did. And so we probably could have got a lawsuit out of this because it was from IKEA. They had those Malm cabinets and we had the tallest one. We had a TV on that. And I bought a TV and I was so happy about it. It was right when flat screens were becoming affordable, but they weren't that cheap.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like $1,000 TV and I was very, very happy about it. And my kid pulled out the drawer and it had all her DVDs in it and she just yanked it out and it ripped it out of the wall and the TV fell over her head. Luckily it didn't hit her.
Oh my gosh.
But it went over her head.
Yikes.
And landed behind her and brand new TV just destroyed. I was so mad. And again, I was relieved because she didn't get hurt.
Right, yeah.
Because that. What did I break? All right, that shoe's just gonna stay down. That's the Baby Yoda shoes I just got, and I don't know why it doesn't stay up. But anyway, so that was the biggest one. Now they destroyed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the one that's most memorable because I had that TV for less than a month.
She really doesn't get into a whole lot. I think the worst we probably do right now is that we like to color on the walls.
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
So I've spent multiple times cleaning the walls because God forbid I try to do something on my own.
Yeah.
Without watching her.
My kids would do that too. and the walls. And we did one of the things that we did that made my parents crazy was we had these these dressers that were like nice wood dressers, but we scratched the fuck out of them. We just like carved our names and all this stuff in them, and like it was ridiculous, and put stickers all over it, and they were like nice finished. But that's like that's kind of their fault, because like, why don't give that to kids?
Right.
Don't give kids nice things.
Yeah, no.
Give them crappy things that they can destroy.
Break them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I recently got or at least a new vehicle, and I said, "Can mommy just have one nice clean car?" And she goes, "No."
She's like,
No.
It's my mission to destroy this
I'm
thing.
going to absolutely put my feet on this thing every single time. It's getting slightly muddy outside because the weather's changing.
Yeah.
And I'm just every single time, you can't have something nice.
Oh,
it's
man.
just not possible.
One of the things that the kids would do is they were real bad about throwing garbage away in the car. So like I had to like no gum. I was like, you cannot have gum,
Right,
Because
yeah.
you always stick it between the seats. You put it between the couch cushions. You put it in the door handle on the car, and I can't handle it. So then their whole life became like this gum smuggling outfit where they're like, hey, you got some gum? I got some gum. Let's get some gum. We'll chew some gum. We'll put it in weird places and make dad mad. It's fucking crazy. It made me so insane. And they're like, what? Gum's not bad for you? I'm like, I don't give a fuck about whether it's good or bad for you. You don't take care of it properly. When you're done with it, you spit it randomly or stick it randomly in weird places, and that's why you can't have gum. I'd rather you swallow it. I don't care. I don't care if it, but like, I know it's not true, but like, if it was true and you had like a 7-year gumball building up in your body, I wouldn't even care, because I don't want my car to have gum in the door handles.
Yeah. I actually went as far with this car specifically that I bought really handy dandy. They sit inside of the holders of the cup holders.
Yeah.
And it looks like a mini trash can. It literally says trash right on it, and you can stick stuff in it.
Yeah.
So
that's what you have.
here's to hoping that
she follows that.
follows
I feel like she's got to have some sort of like reward system for doing that. Like almost like you get a treat or like a star or something like that. Like, hey, when you get home, we'll put a star in the chart.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna adopt that idea. We're gonna use it. It's gonna happen.
Encourage the cleanliness of the car.
Absolutely.
Be like,
100%.
don't put your feet up, you get a star. Put garbage in the little garbage can, you get a star.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's gonna work, but hoping and wanting and wishing aren't always what happens. So
yeah,
we'll go there.
Well, and that's also like with me, I feel like I didn't get a lot of situations like that, but I also like and maybe I don't know, but I was never like motivated by those kind of accolades.
Yeah.
So it was more like praise. Like if my room was clean and my mom was like, "Oh my God, your room's clean. I love it." That would be like more meaningful.
So
yeah,
that is one of her things now. She'll go, "Are you proud of me? You're proud of me, mommy. You're proud of me, right?" And I'll say, "Yeah, right. I'm proud of you."
That's cute. That is cute. So what? All right, you've been married for what, 5 years now? 6 years.
Yeah. 6 years.
6 years married. You got the kid. You guys got a cute house. You got a great dog. What do you see for the future? Just haircuts and any more kids?
No kids. I think we're
kids.
one and done.
One and
There's
done? Yeah.
no need for any more. She's a lot
Yeah.
to handle, and I maybe I'm taking it out of proportion, and maybe it's possible, but I mean, never say never, but definitely I think just one kid and maybe improving the house a little bit, and just
Improving the house. It's a cute house, but that's like, you have a great yard.
Yeah.
So one of the things, like during the summer, I would take my dog, and basically she'd be doing whatever she's doing, but I just needed a yard for my dog to be able to run around in. So like, I'm gonna bring my dog over and let my dog run around with your dog and get used to a dog. And but a good yard is something that like I just I've been here a year now,
right.
and I'm like the one thing that if I knew things were gonna get this way in 2020,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten a condo. I would have gotten a house with a yard.
Or house's yard, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're always welcome to come over.
Well, I appreciate that. All right. Well, how do you feel like you did?
I feel great.
You did a good job. I know you're very worried about it. Like you get very nervous, and that's why one of the reasons you wanted to cut my hair, because you're like, oh, you have to look perfect all the time, and then like you're talking about these little minuscule things that could be noticeable, but only noticeable to you.
Yeah.
and I didn't notice them, and like until you point them out. And I think that's a good reminder to a lot of people that we are our own harshest critic.
Yes.
I mean, this happens with Pound Cake all the time, where he's like, "Oh, everyone's gonna notice. Everyone's always paying attention to me," and they're just not.
Yeah, I can.
I mean, it's good.
understand that.
It's good to want to look the way you want to look,
Right.
especially when you're doing something like this.
Yes.
But you also have to understand, like, you can be like, okay, well, I'm sitting next to this slob, so you're gonna look great in comparison.
Not at all. Not at all.
She's too kind.
No, it's fun. It's a good time. I enjoy every bit of it.
All right, I'm excited to have you as the featured Instagram hottie. I hope this is okay, Alan, because we're friends. Is that okay? I had my girlfriend be it, and I got yelled at. Well, excuse me.
Well,
I wasn't yelled at, but like Alan brought it up on the show, and people were like, "Stop yelling at him, Alan." He is, and I was like, I didn't know I was getting yelled at until other people told me.
I mean, I can see that, but at the same time, I have come to your defense before, and I'm thinking that people are yelling at you or saying mean things to you, and you're like, no, it's fine.
It's fine, and also like I just really don't. Like it's like even if I'm in a emotional state in that moment, like it goes away like that because I'm playing off my emotions on the show. My reactions have to be that. But like once the show's over, I'm just like, oh, okay, fuck. I don't care.
I wish that I didn't wear my heart on my sleeve, because the fact that I do, although wearing these masks is actually really fantastic in the sense that like a lot of my facial expressions go into what I'm actually saying versus what I'm
trying to hide behind a fake smile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I often get told that at least I can hide my grump face.
Yeah, that's good. Well, let me see your grump face.
I don't know. It's my resting face.
Oh, okay, just a resting.
Yeah,
well.
I don't think I have that bad of a face, but at the same time, I always thought that my mom looked mean when I was little, and turns out I just have her face.
I think women are more judgmental, and not all, obviously, but generalization is that like women are more sensitive to that because like I'm also like a touch on the spectrum, so eye contact and stuff like that isn't always my best attribute, but like I can read faces and I know, but I also body language is important too. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes people over read a face and don't read the whole body.
Yeah, that it was 100% true.
Yeah.
I have been called out, when our younger years we'd be out at a bar or whatever, and I am often shy when I don't know somebody or know the situation, and so not being able to hide behind a mask, I would just sit there or stand there and kind of just read the situation and read people. Yeah. And they're like, oh, she's such a bitch, and I'm like, I didn't do anything.
Well, and that's a thing that like some of my exes have gotten because like my ex Carly, who's been on the show a bunch of times, she's pretty shy, especially in like uncomfortable like meeting people for the first time, and she's gotten better at it. But she also like she'll just sit back and let everybody else do what she's doing and just kind of watch and just not like try to butt in. She doesn't and. People be like, oh, I don't like her. She seems standoffish. She's like, no, she's just not inserting herself constantly into the conversation.
I mean, meeting her that one time, I was like, oh my God, she's so great. But obviously...
She's okay. I'm mad that she didn't pick any of my dates that I set up for her on this show. So other than that, she's fine.
I mean...
She did go on a date with somebody that wasn't the guy that was playing her. So I'm hopeful that will be something. So guys that submitted to date Carly, I don't think it's going to... anything's gonna come from it. I'm sorry. I think you're all great guys, and I think you're all find somebody. But Carly also want her to, find someone and be happy because she's such a sweet girl. Yeah, crazy, so crazy, but sweet crazy.
Where is that spectrum, or not spectrum, but
there's like a whole chart online.
Yes.
Yeah, like she's on that chart where it's like it's curving up with like the good looking and then the crazy, and like I think she's adjusted her crazy a little bit as she's gotten older and gotten a little more.
But have you seen the one that has the hairstylist on it?
Yes, I think you showed it to me. I think you're the one that showed it to me. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. If you need to find Annie, she's, what is it? Sexy Stylist.
Yeah, Sexy Stylist 13
on Twitter. And then what's the Instagram? If you want to put that out there. I mean, you're the Instagram hottie.
So. I'm terrible about that. I think it might be
It's like
Annie Sarge.
Yeah, I don't know, but there'll be a link, so you can find it. But then also go to the Regal Beagle. Make sure she's always booked and doesn't have any.
Come get your holiday haircut.
Get your holiday haircut. There you go, for the holiday that you're not going to probably even be able to go to. But you should
Grandma will still appreciate it in pictures.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to look good for the. I was gonna say the funeral.
That's so morbid.
Oh, terrible. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and we will be back next week. And yeah, that's all. Bye.
This is the Bill Squire Show.